It's time for Survivor Angels, an approach to strengthen trauma survivors. Here, you can escape what draws negativity and engage your positive abilities and the gifts that you've always had. Let's activate your angels. And to help you on that journey, here's Chaplain Jodi.
Jen, are you ready to reset?
Yes, I am.
Like we were talking ahead of time, the calendar new year might have happened 2 months ago here, pretty much. But now the new year is just really going to start rolling. What are you seeing?
Yeah, so I love everybody's anticipation, like new me, new year, January 1st. Well, that wasn't the new year.
Nope.
Astrologically, it's not the new year. Chinese New Year, etc. We are now entering the new year, and like anything that we start, it's never easy. There has to be a shakeup to evolve into where we're going to go. So this month, I'm seeing March as being, it's going to be a little rocky. There are going to be bumps purposely in our way because this is the karmic reset that we have to pay back, that we have to shed before we move forward in the racehorse type of momentum. We have to go through this shakeup. It's a necessary evil to start our path forward this year.
Right. It's what gives us our new beginning. And because I'm going to do a shameless plug here, everybody, right away. On March 19th, I'm teaching a live class on sacred geometry, level 1. And I'm going to be talking about the matrix and how that figures into sacred geo and a few things like that, because what we're talking about right here is our matrix. And that is about how we perceive our reality. That's basically what the matrix is about in a very short, to the point definition. It's far more than that, but it plays into all of this. And so, like, a lot of our old beliefs and our old patterns, which the matrix is a pattern, those sorts of things, we're going to start looking at them differently. We're going to throw a bunch of them straight out the door and just say, enough of that.
Yeah.
Then we're going to come back and see where we land. And one of the pieces with that, Gabriel's going to play a huge piece in that, because Gabriel is about the communication in all of this. And that's what it's going to be. Are we tuned in to what's being communicated to us? What are the downloads that we're getting? I call everything from angels downloads.
Yeah.
It's basically what it is. And people understand what a download is with all of our technology and everything. And when you pull the matrix into that equation, then too, it makes perfect sense, because you've got all this stuff filtering down, filtering down, filtering down. That's your download.
Oh,
and
sorry.
That is coming. Whoa, you're traveling on me.
My dog just moved my cord, so wanting attention.
There's a message from them.
Yes.
But
yeah.
It's going to be Gabriel. So when you're hearing these messages, or seeing these messages, or hearing these messages, that's Gabriel who's talking to you, and he's going to poke and he's going to nudge and pay attention. So I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Jen?
When you started saying the shakeup and the awakening, that is absolutely, if you can name anything, one word for this month, it's going to be awakening. Especially for people with special gifts, clairvoyance, healers, especially. So your doctors, your spiritual healers, we are all going to awaken to a different level. So when you start feeling things this month that you haven't before, you start hearing things, you start, a lot of this month is going to be very emotional.
Yes.
And so just know that what you're feeling, you're supposed to be. It's this month is going to hit all different levels. It's going to hit spiritual, technological, etc. And if you don't think technology, AI, spiritualism, and everything else don't go hand in hand, you're wrong.
Right.
Because there's a reason why there's downloads. There's a reason why there's AI. There's a reason why they asked President Obama, are aliens real? Well, guess what? We're going to start getting some of those answers starting this month all the way to the end of the year. Technology, especially in the health area this month, is going to start opening up. So I don't know if it's more like, oh, we can now do heart surgery this way, or we can work on the brain this way, or we have a cancer treatment. These are all things that are happening for a reason. So this month, I'm going to highlight health, technology, spiritual, all that is going to evolve this month.
Right. I'm a regular contributor to the Gray magazine, which comes out 4 times a year, comes out quarterly. And the download that the angels gave me for now the next edition of it is Angels and AI. And I just finished writing it and sending it off to the publisher. And was that eye-opening to do that? Was awakening to do that article.
I think what's funny is people's rationale, people's ideology, people's thought, people's spirituality. This is the month where people are going to step back and go, what do I really believe? What am I seeing? How is this making me feel? And am I questioning things? You know, I think there's a reason why now you're seeing more of a resurgence of people going to church. You see more of a resurgence of, you know, I've never bought a Bible, but I'm gonna buy one.
Right.
I think there's more of that, and people don't know why, but it's in the stars. It's in, I mean, we all are all part of the universe, one way or another, right? And so I think that's one way technology, downloads, you know, the universe and the planetary system shifting, we're all one, right? And so one thing affects everything else. And that is why we are seeing people's ideology shift. That's why we're seeing transformation in people's thought patterns. Pay attention this month, people.
Yes. And for all of you who are maybe buying your first Bible ever, I applaud you for that. That is a huge step forward. I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy step, because the Bible isn't one of those books that you can read from cover to cover like you can a regular book. It's not like that. But don't get discouraged. But another piece that I want to tell you about that incredible book is it's filled with numbers. And those numbers mean things. They tie back to sacred geometry, which is why I'm starting to teach this class, which I have no idea how many levels it will go, because it literally runs through every bit of creation, all the way out into the massive universe that we have no idea how far that it goes. And a lot of those numbers are right in that good book. And so don't dwell on them, but just note them as you're going through, because those will come into play as we move through this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody has taken classes on sacred geometry, etc., numerology plays a huge role. Repetitive numbers, those kind of things. I love that you bring up the Bible. And I'm not going to be a Bible thumper and tell you, you know, everybody needs to read the Bible. My thing is, I tried reading the Bible. I fall asleep more than I don't. So when I need like something, I do this and stick my finger right on a passage, and it's always what I need.
Yeah, that's what I do too now.
Yeah. And so, you know, take with it what you will. I applaud anybody for looking for answers above themselves. You know, there's something greater than themselves. And so if that's what you do, I applaud you. You know, and there's no looking like, oh, this is the one true way, or that's the one true way. I believe that everybody has their own individual, spiritual, divine passage. And so we just have to make our way. And if that's one way, more power to you. You know?
So I have to bring up something that's very personal to you,
Yeah.
about you,
Oh,
that oh, I'm going to tell tales out of school here on you, Jen.
okay. Go ahead. I'm
Uh,
ready.
a lot of people I'm sure don't know about you, and that's that your grandfather was a shaman.
Mhm.
And we talk about resets this month. And as we talked about a week ago, as we were messaging back and forth, you've been contemplating going deeper into that. So talk about that.
Yeah, I think part of the awakening is knowing who we are, knowing where we came from. What did we forget as we thought we evolved? Um, and you'll see other mystics, psychics, whatever, going back and retracing steps. There are certain mediums going to different lands. There are certain mediums now that are studying different medicines. We're going back to the basics. And I think the beautiful thing about my grandfather was he was very landlocked. It was everything is about the earth. Everything has a meaning. All the animals and the earth are connected. How we treat them, how we honor them, all comes into play. And I think ever since my father passed away and my grandfather was a farmer that had cattle and sheep and you name it, he had everything. I think going back to that helps me tap in to the things I might have forgotten. Um, Plant medicines, chrysanthemum, dandelion root, sage. I do my own sage for smudging now. I bring elements in. I will add things to my teas now. Herbal medicine, aches and pains, you name it, different roots that you may have. I think there's a beautiful thing about the alchemy of it, about
Yes.
tapping into the frequency of nature, right?
Mhm.
And I think a lot of us have fallen asleep. And knowing that I'm doing this helps me honor my grandfather and allows me to go back to who I am, right? Who I
Mhm.
need to evolve into and not devolve away from that. And I think that's so important. And, I think everybody, whether or not you go through ancestry, DNA, or whatever, what did you forget from your ancestors? What do you need to resurrect? What should we bring forward? And what do we need to get rid of? Right. And I think that's one of the things that, we went away. It's so easy to go to the store and get an aspirin or go, I'm having stomach issues. I'm going to get some meds for that. How about we just go back to nature? How about we become more holistic, one with the earth and the earth, how it vibrates within us when we take it in, right? So I think that's so important that people need to connect back to their roots.
Yeah, we've basically become one with our screens. What are our screens pushing at us? That's where so many of us are connected now. Like you
Yeah.
said, whether it's, the pharmaceutical companies or whether it's the social image. And there's a whole long litany here that we could go down, and we need to, like you said, go back to our roots, to go back to our basics. I was so privileged to grow up in North Dakota, and I'm sure some of our listeners and viewers here are going, you were privileged to grow up in North Dakota, there's nothing there. Yes, that's part of it. There is nothing there except earth
Mm-hmm.
and nature and sky. And when I need a reset, I go back to those prairies. And oh my gosh, you talk about the angels giving me downloads when I go out there. And
Yeah.
I do a 180. I'm Jeff, my husband, he knows. And he'll say, is it time to make a trip back to Dakota? And I'll probably say, yep, now's the time.
Yeah. I mean, I look at what's going on in the world right now, Facebook being, on in court testifying about, kids getting hooked. And then I look at, well, what about the adults that just can't sit? The adults who can't meditate because they have ADHD brain because it's working, working, working. We're always on our phones. They used to have what they call, things on commercials where they'd flash something and flash something and flash something.
Yes.
Wow, I really want a Coke right now. Well, they were giving you subliminal messages.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I have no doubt that is rewiring young kids' brains who are turning into young adults' brains who cannot just settle and be. So when you say I was privileged to live in the Dakotas, I get it. I get it, because when I need to relax, when I need to go back to self, I go outside in nature.
Yeah.
We forgot to be okay with just being ourselves. We forgot to be okay with just being silent and listening to our heart and our inner thoughts and how we feel. I think going back to the basics is going to be fundamental for a lot of people, and especially with these eye-opening revelations from every kind of online thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's time to step back a little bit. Instead of doing 20 minutes of online whatever, do 10.
Right.
Right? And then
It's
spend 10 more minutes in prayer or doing something else.
yeah. Chamuel was hugging me, actually, saying it's a recalibration of the heart this
Yes.
month. And I love that, because people need to love themselves. They
Mhm.
need to go back to loving themselves. And my Wednesday night class met this week, and one of our attendees just told this heart-wrenching story. She teaches third graders in Louisiana. And she said they have no parental guidance from home. Most of them are in one-parent families. They're basically in survival mode because they don't have a lot of money. So it's like, well, our dinner isn't going to be this much because this is all that we've got in the fridge. I mean, it broke my heart to listen to her. And I said to her, it sounds like they have no hope. She said they don't. And so they don't care. They don't care about themselves. They don't care about others. They don't care about their future. They don't care about anything. And it broke my heart. And so I think a piece of this recalibration of the heart this month, this reset for us, is what can we do looking outward to help people love themselves? And that can look a bazillion different ways.
Right.
It might be just in a chance encounter, where you're standing in line at the grocery store and there's a kid ahead of you who's just buying a carton of milk or something to take home. Strike up a conversation with them. Don't make it creepy, but just, hey, how are you doing? And how has your day been? Just so that they see, well, that person cared about me for the moment, at least. Because then they start looking for that. But the thing is you can't have them walk out the door and then they get slammed with something that's negative either. But if everybody was to start doing that, it would make a world of difference.
Yeah. I think that's going to be really, really important, especially this month. We're obviously going into the Mercury retrograde. We're going to have
Again,
a lunar eclipse. Exactly. We're going to have a solar eclipse, which highlights and illuminates, right? Stuff
right.
going on. This is going to be an emotional upheaval month. There's going to be instability with Mars being around. There's going to be explosive communication. Not in a positive way, right?
Okay.
So we really need to look towards ourselves about, I know I'm not feeling okay. Know that everybody's not going to be feeling okay. Because when you put out there, to your website or mine, or I'm not feeling right. Is anybody else feeling like this? You're going to have everybody else going, oh my God, you too,
Right.
So I would definitely just keep in mind that our shadow work is going to come forward. Things that we thought we have dealt with are going to smack us in the face. Now, I'm giving you the heads up. When it does, take the step back, because this is about realization and transformation. this
Yes.
month is. And you can't transform if you don't face the evils that you thought you have already conquered. Okay. So that's
Right.
going to flash in
Mhm.
because of the retrograde and the moon. We all know that when the moon comes out, people start acting a little, crazy. Cops and nurses know this for sure. But it's the impulses that we have to control. We have to control ourselves. It's about feeling fatigued, mental instability. So be very aware of what's going on. There's going to be flight issues this month, computer glitches because of the solar stuff going on.
Sure.
From the 20th on is what I'm feeling. So just know if you got a flight, and I know I do.
We do.
We do, right? That there may be some glitches. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to take a flight, if you're going to have like hotel type things, there could be some computer, we don't have this, just keep calm. This
Right.
is all part of the celestial things that are going to happen. It's
Mhm.
the karmic resets that we're going to go through. But just know, let's not get triggered. Let's realize that everybody is going to have an emotional month this month.
Mhm.
And so to add a little kindness, to talk to that kid in line, to let the kid in front of you, because you have a full carton, he's got a carton of milk, go ahead. And you know what? I'm going to pay for his little milk.
Right.
Those kind of things, pay it forward. Oh my God, help the heart so much. But it
Yeah.
also, we get something from it that help us balance, right? Just
Absolutely.
remember, this is a karmic month.
Mhm.
It's the
Mhm.
reset.
Right. Angels have told me it's going to also be a month of vivid dreams, which that could be triggering things as also can be
Yeah.
triggering things also. So when you have a really vivid dream, write it down
Yes.
as soon as you can. Write it down and walk away from it. Go to work, go do yard work, go cook dinner, whatever, comes up in the middle, and then go back and revisit it and see what comes out of it when you've taken that time to step away from it. It's the pause. It's like you're talking about with the shadow
Right.
work. It's taking that pause. Don't do a knee-jerk reaction. Take the pause and then see what the message is that you're receiving. First of all, it's going to help regulate your nervous system
Right.
because you're going for the balance. And that will help you to look at it with more clarity then, which is what we need. There's too much fog going on right now. We need that clarity piece. We have control over
Yep.
this whole system that we live in, that we thrive in, that we grow in. And we can help with the alignment by just doing a few simple things like this. And the number one thing is take a pause and stay calm. Keep
Right.
calm and carry on.
Right. I think there's going to be also, and I'm feeling it more like the 17th on, where we reevaluate our own self-worth. And that could be part of our shadow work.
Yep.
But just as a grain of thought, just keep it on the side with the vivid dreams that you're
Mhm.
hearing that we're going to have. Don't think they're not downloads. They could be downloads to
Right.
help you, right? To open up your eyes, things we didn't realize, but our subconscious does. There are ways that we get messages that, it's just a dream. Maybe not.
Mhm.
Or maybe, you know.
Mhm.
Keep that in mind. Like you said, write it down, go do your thing, come back to it and go, what do I need to glean from this?
Yep.
Has anything happened today that I need to be aware that, now I understand it? Or what's coming up, right? Because I
Right.
think everybody has that ability. It's a matter of how well we tap into it or how much we understand the message. So,
Yes.
with that, just remember, we're all going to get tapped. We're all going to get downloaded. You're going to feel stuff. which is absolutely, true to you.
Mhm.
But it's how we navigate our emotions and how we're feeling this month that will get us forward where we need to go. Now, remember, karmic rebalancing. You don't want to fall back on karmic lessons that you didn't learn, right?
Right.
So this is kind of like the test. Okay, you thought you did good all last year. Here's the test. Bam. Here's something
Yep.
karmic coming your way. How are you going to handle it? Right?
Yep.
I know this question. I'm going to pass with an A. Just know that that's going to be tested this month, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be very emotional, very volatile. People may push your buttons. You may push other people's buttons. This is where we button up. We try and be self-aware.
Yep.
This is our new reset, our new us for the new year. Just remember that.
Yep. Yeah. These karmic resets that Jen's talking about, those are thresholds.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to stay in the threshold. You don't want to back out of the threshold. You want to move forward. Doesn't have to be that you go flying out through it.
Right.
You can take your time. Just make sure that it's a forward motion with it. And then you will get through it. And another piece with the shadow work, just did a huge event where I did a lot of work with shadows with our attendees and everything, is your shadows will come back to you. They will never stop visiting you. That's okay, because each time they come back, if you have done your shadow work and moved through that threshold, number one, it will be less frightening.
Yeah.
Number two, it will be more empowering because you got through it.
Right.
And so each time you learn a little bit more and you grow more from it too. So don't look at it like these are boogeymen.
Right.
The first times that you're doing it, they're not a lot of fun. I'm going to be honest with you. Just do it though.
Yeah.
And you will feel so much better. That reset is going to be started for you.
Yeah, I always call them emotional triggers, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've all dealt with stuff. We've all had bad stuff happen in our lives, and sometimes it rears its ugly head. It's a matter of how we identify it. If you start getting upset, that's the time where we have to step back and go, oh, okay, why am I feeling this way? Is it legitimate? Is it something that's happening to me now? Or am I reacting from something in the past? And if it's something from the past, then you need to breathe through it and just know, you know what? The past can't hurt me anymore unless I allow it. So you identify it, you thank it, right? Because it formed you into who you are. And then you move forward saying, you cannot affect me. I don't give you that power anymore, right? And you move forward. And that's how we grow karmically, spiritually. That's how we do our shadow work. So there will be those triggers this month. Just know you're the master of your destiny. You are the master of your emotions. You are the master of whether you step forward or whether you step back or whether you stall. But take the bull by the horns, right? And just know that everybody is going to be tested this month. Just know. And it's okay. It's part of our spiritual growth.
And so, everyone, the Code Awakens in March. Thank you for joining Jen and I, and we will see you in April.
Oh, but they could see us sooner.
Oh, they could come to Palmer.
Yes, ma'am.
March 12th through the 14th. Thank you, Jen. Palmer House in Minnesota. Dave Schrader is the new owner of it. Yes, both Jen and I will be there along with Dustin Perry, Larry Eisler III, Jessica Hoke. We're going to be doing some never before done things that will be very interesting. And then just a little FYI, as we mentioned Savannah a little while ago, Jen and I are going to be traveling. We will be there for the recording of the April show at the end of March. So check us out then too, not only for content, but see what wonderful Savannah location we have chosen to shoot the podcast.
Absolutely. So I hope to see other people there at the Palmer. If you want to come see, get a reading, get some technology, or just visit and see Dustin. Fabulous. We'd love to have you guys along. So
Check
check it
out our
out.
stuff check out our stuff on social media, and you'll find the links for how to come and join us. So with that, reset, everybody.
Thanks again for joining Chaplain Jodi on Survivor Angels. For more information, go to chaplainjodi.me. That's chaplainjodi.me. And on Facebook at Survivor Angels-Chaplain Jodi. This is Dave Schrader. Until next time, sending you off to activate your angels.